Hi, this is James Shrug with Westpac London's end of day report for Monday, October the 17th. The London session started off okay today with hope or optimism that EU finance ministers might have come up with something substantial at their weekend meeting. But that optimism evaporated throughout the day, particularly following comments from the German Finance Minister Schäuble, who said that we shouldn't expect anything concrete to be announced by the time of the EU Leaders Summit in a week's time, on the 23rd and 24th of October. That was particularly disappointing, particularly given other hints that we'd had over the weekend that EU leaders had really grasped the seriousness of the problem and were determined to do and to be seen to be doing something about it. We also today actually had Australia's Treasurer Wayne Swan in town. His comments focused very much on what's happening in Europe, and he focused on the need for EU leaders to get the skates on, as he put it. And he noted in reference to Australia, or the Australian economy, that the impact on confidence alone has had consequences for our own growth and budget revenue, and there is every prospect this could get worse. Perhaps that's a very subtle hint that the commitment to return Australia's budget position to surplus by 2012-2013 might be more difficult to achieve, and perhaps might even be postponed. That timeline might be extended somewhat, which could actually be good policy making. I mean, Australia doesn't have a government debt or budget problem, but for domestic political reasons it is an issue in Australia. But just maybe Swan is kind of hinting that bigger issues internationally might have to impact on that commitment. We'll have to wait and see on that one. In terms of economic data today, we had some figures out in the US. Industrial production in September rose 0.2%. Factories were a little bit stronger, up 0.4%. In October, the New York area Fed factory survey remained quite weak at around -8. However, the detail for October was actually pretty positive. Jobs, orders and shipments all improved quite substantially in that report. So the headline, which is a question that they ask bosses, how do you feel about general business conditions, remained weak. Bosses are pessimistic about what's happening in the economy, but in terms of how their own business is doing, apparently they did much better in October than in September. We had some earnings reports as well. Citigroup, better than expected. Wells Fargo, the US bank, didn't do as well as expected, and there was some impact in the financial stocks related to those earnings results. So that's really what happened today. In terms of markets, it's 6 o'clock in the evening in London at the moment. European markets have closed with the FTSE down 0.5%, the French market's down 1.6%, and the German market is down 1.8% today. And a couple of, 3.5 hours into trading, the Dow is down 1.6%, but that's at 11,453. The S&P 500, similar move, down around 1.6% at the moment as well. A couple of things to mention on the commodity front, mostly negatives in terms of the ones we usually look at. Oil was down 0.5% today, $86.31 a barrel. Gold's down about 0.7% at $1,671 an ounce, and copper's down 1% today as well. The Aussie dollar's weaker. Let's see, it's at 1.022 against the US dollar, so down around a cent against the US dollar during the London session today, with risk appetite basically being pulled off the table, with investors selling equities, selling commodities, and selling riskier currencies like the Aussie as well. In terms of things to watch for in Australia, we've got the Reserve Bank minutes coming up today. It's Tuesday your time, and certainly we'll be looking to see a bit more detail in those minutes about what sort of easing bias the Reserve Bank might have now. Remember, they hinted in their statement following the October meeting that there was scope to cut interest rates in Australia if required, and given provided the inflation story remained benign. Anyway, so that's it for today, and we'll be back again tomorrow.